Why settle for merely hunting ducks when the entire animal kingdom can be fair game? This is Sega Masters. If you remember from the last episode, when Sega first unleashed the Master System in North America in September 1986, a special 2-in-1 cartridge was initially bundled with the console. We looked at the headliner of the duo in the previous episode, Hang On, and today we shine the spotlight on the proverbial B-sider, Safari Hunt, a hunting simulator with a now questionable title screen that was intended to be the showpiece for the special accessory included with the initial Master System bundle. Many would-be video game historians tend to forget that when the Nintendo Entertainment System was first launched in the fall of 1985, Super Mario Bros. Wasn't originally intended to be the system seller it eventually became. Instead, it was actually a pair of gimmicky peripherals Nintendo was betting on to attract consumers to their console in its early going, and bundled both of them with the original NES Deluxe set, along with matching games to show them off. There was the robot operating Buddy, the original mascot for the NES, which quickly faded out of the scene but isn't completely forgotten, and then there was the Zapper light gun, which lasted far longer than Rob to say the least. Helping the Zapper get off to a strong start was the enduring classic Duck Hunt. Despite being a simple shooting gallery exercise, it became a top seller for Nintendo, due to it being bundled with several console setups, and thanks to its charming personality, remains a favorite of NES diehards to this day. As a result, light guns became an essential part of any late 1980s console setup and prompted the other companies to follow suit. Even Atari felt the need to produce a light gun for their consoles at the time. So it's no surprise that Sega made sure the Western market release of their 8-bit console included its own light pistol. Enter the Light Phaser, the sci-fi styled, cool looking counterpart to the Nintendo Zapper, which, contrary to popular belief, was not inspired by a Japanese anime series, but we'll get more into that down the road. Sega also saw how Duck Hunt successfully launched Nintendo's light gun and figured a similar title was the way to go for their own console sidearm. Or they would attempt to improve upon the template Duck had established. The old, we can do that but better mentality Sega would follow many times in its long competition with Nintendo, with varying degrees of success over the years. And that brings us to Safari Hunt. In one of 3 settings, starting with this lake, you're looking to take out as many of the various critters flying, jumping, or wandering onto the screen as you can within the allotted time, and you have 30 shots at your disposal. From ducks to fish to even little bunnies, nothing is off limits. You're free to blast anything that crosses your path, and every successful hit is indicated by a somewhat humorous death animation from the unfortunate target. Each creature you bag is worth a certain amount of points, and you must accumulate enough points to meet a required qualifying score to advance to the next round. The light phaser is mostly accurate, though your shots can tend to pull slightly to the left at times, but it's not hard to compensate for it. And of course, you can influence the game's difficulty by how far away the phaser is held from the television screen. Once you exhaust your ammo, the round ends, your score is displayed, and should you meet or surpass the necessary threshold, it's on to the next screen, otherwise the game ends. You next move on to the forest, which offers its own selection of potential trophies, including bears that actually take multiple shots to bring down. While Safari Hunt doesn't stray too far from the gameplay formula Duck Hunt established, the different settings populated with various well-drawn and animated targets, all of which sport their own unique behaviors and movements, give Sega's game a visual variety not found in its NES rival. At the same time, the game is quite light on audio. No background music is present, and the only sounds that ring through each area are the booms when you score a direct hit, and the odd cracks indicating a miss. The third stage of your safari takes you into the jungle, with its own group of targets to take out. Should you complete the jungle level, it's right back to the lake as you just loop through the same 3 settings over and over with more demanding qualifying scores until your hunt concludes. Altogether there are 69 total levels, with a rather interesting ending message for those who manage to go the distance. But you probably won't be interested in cycling through the same trio of levels 23 times just to see it. Granted, Safari Hunt is fun and amusing for what it is at first, and does add a few unique touches to the Duck Hunt formula, yet at its core it's still just another 1980s shooting gallery style exercise with very little depth or replay value to it. Blasting targets over and over soon gets a little tiresome before too long, and isn't engaging enough to keep you coming back unless you're that interested in high scores. No new areas or potential targets are introduced down the line either, thus after just one trip through the 3 screens you've basically seen all this game has to offer. So in the end, Safari Hunt may not have had the same impact on the gaming world that Duck Hunt did back in the day, and you won't want to spend too much time with it, but it still proves to be a decent exercise for the light phaser and a solid choice to scratch that itchy light gun trigger finger for a few minutes.